I have to confess, I'm feeling a little nervous. But I've put this video off for days, and here's a fly which is letting me put it off for another few seconds. I put this video off for days, but now I have absolutely no excuse. Here we are. So, they've added the alert system, that little notification bar history thing, which is here. They've also changed the geological centre, apparently, so that it goes back to looking the way it did in the old days, where it took up 2 squares, as opposed to the version we've had thus far in the game, which only takes up 1 square, which is the same as the physical geological centre that came in the Lego sets in the old Rock Raiders theme back in ye olden times of 28 years ago, which is a little terrifying now that I think about it. But you're not here for the geological centre. You're not here for the alert system. You're not even here for the pusher beam. And neither am I. We are here to face a long absent adversary. That music wasn't there before. Not sure if you can hear that, but I'm glad to have that noise there. Yes, we are here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to go back to basics. Yay, they brought the voices back. I like that. I didn't like it when they took those away. Oh, what a lie the phrase back to basics is, given that this doesn't involve going back to the basics.
Okay, Rock Raider, are you ready for the next mission? Listen carefully, as this is a tough mission. We have located a cavern close to the center of this planet, and we need to establish our Rock Raider HQ there before the final push. The problem is that there's a very limited supply of energy crystals and ore in the area, so only build what you really need. Be careful not to use too many resources. Remember that every energy crystal counts, and you'll need every last one if you are to achieve the 45 total needed.
We were so innocent back when we first read this, all those decades ago. We had no idea what was coming. We had no idea what was going to happen to us. Right, you need a gun. The whole heckin' lot of you need guns, because this is actually the first time I've played Back to Basics since even the monsters have been implemented, let alone since our slimy friends got implemented. Because yes, they're here. The slugs have been added. Yay! The little message is here. And you can press this little button to go straight to where it happened, which is lovely. Yay! I'm really glad this is here, because this is like absolutely adorable. Right, what the hell am I doing? I am forgetting. I am putting a piece of power pod there, I think. Sorry. I need to actually think, because I've been playing Back to Basics all this time without any monsters in it, so I've been doing it in like a pacifist strategy. I need to get my mind back into ye olde strategies of violence. Can we have a little look at the geological centre? Yes, you can see now that it takes up 2 squares instead of 1. Yeah, it's kind of got that little big buttocks on the end of it, which it never used to have. So, what is the plan? The plan is to forget that, you know, like, we need some frickin' ore, maybe? Perhaps that would be a splendid idea, wouldn't it, Phil? Goodness sake, I do apologise. I need to be careful, like, genuinely and properly careful. Instead of incompetent. Just once in a blue moon, that would be lovely, Phil.
Yeah, sorry.
What is the plan? The plan is to get through this mission, basically. That's literally the only plan I have for the entire episode. I don't plan on doing anything else. So, I want to test and show off a couple of the strategies, Back to Basics strategies, because
You called, Chief?
I am the best, so yes.
Because I don't think they're going to work, let's be honest. There's a number of strategies. I'll talk through what the different strategies are first, and then we can actually go ahead and decide which one we're going to try. Oh, the spiders. I haven't seen the spiders in ages. I'm not sure why. I think because I've been doing mostly custom missions recently, and the spiders never really seem to be in those. But, okay, so, what is the strategy I always used to use? The strategy I always used to use is to blast a very thin gap through here, you see, because all of this is like hard rock and there's loads of like stuff over here. You'd blast a very thin hole through here, that's at least the air source, if nothing else. You'd blast a very thin hole through here, and then in this sort of little valley, this little channel, you would build yourself a teleport pad, and you would leave it there. Because at the time, monsters and slugs were not able to cross through buildings, right? And you could use it to block the pathway and stop any what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to confess that I am honestly terrified. I want to erect electric fence. Post haste. Yes. Oh gosh, I'm so scared. Yeah, you would put a teleport pad in this little narrow channel here in order to act as a blockage, right? And that would stop any monsters or slugs from getting to you. And then you keep all the slugs in here, and then as long as you didn't accidentally uncover a new slimy slug hole, you were absolutely fine, and you could be as lackadaisical as you pleased while a million slugs stood here at this point trying to get to you. And they couldn't, because they... What? All frickin' ready? All frickin' ready? Okay, well this is interesting. At least you get to see the little creatures. So they flee when they get down to 60 health. That is good. Did we lose a crystal? I don't think he had enough time to really do that. Okay then. That was unexpected, and that damages my theory. I had a theory and it's been ruined. I'm going to get a second... Well, I feel slightly more confident now because we've killed one. But that was one, okay? That was 5 against 1, and we only just managed to save the crystal. We're going to have a lot more than 1 in a minute, which is why I want to get, like, a million more people down. If I get a second support station, that would allow me to have twice as many folks. Yes. Right. Sorry. That threw me for a loop. You see, the other strategy, which I was about to start discussing, is that normally the slugs wouldn't spawn until you got 8 or 9 crystals, you see? If you didn't have 8 or 9 crystals in your stockpile, you would be fine, right? The slugs would not be able to spawn, because they wouldn't be triggered until you had a certain number of crystals. It seems that they have changed that, and of that I am very, very upset, because that ruins my plan. Because what you would do is, so long as you had less than 8 crystals, no slugs would spawn. So what you could do is you could remember that people need guns. A hell of a lot of them need guns. You could bring down a succession of vehicles. I used to use transport trucks. So you'd get to like 6 crystals, you'd bring down a truck, that'd use 3, and then you'd leave the truck unused right in front of your power station, right? And then you'd build like a stock of trucks there, about 15, better to get about 20 trucks, and just leave them there. Then, when you've got that, you've got like a stock of like over 45 crystals right there, okay? You then equip half your people with guns, or better yet actually, you equip about 3/4 of your people with guns, and then you get a couple of people in a couple of upgraded trucks. You then beam up all the rest of the trucks, so there's just this sum of crystals sitting here right in the middle, and then the trucks just dump the crystals into the power station while your men defend your base, right? And you just just try to get it done as quickly as possible, so there is the minimum amount of time between 8 crystals and 45 crystals. Right? That's how that works. That was like the original plan back in ye olden times. But if they've changed the level at which the slugs spawn, then I am screwed, because that plan isn't going to work anymore. And yes, there are also monsters, which is why I have this fence here. I specifically have this fence here, because normally the most common place for the... I should probably give a couple of you, like, pusher beams, so that we can at least experiment with them if nothing else. Yeah, could you switch out for pusher beams, please? Thank you very kindly. Yeah, monsters tend to spawn out of here, this particular spot here, which is great, because the monsters spawn, they stand right in front of the electric fence, and then they... That's all. That's what I mean. It's a pain in the neck, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, they jump out into the fence, and then they die, which is lovely, because then you don't have to worry about the monsters. You can just focus on the slugs, which gives you one less thing to be panicking about, which is absolutely lovely. So, I can't use either of my old plans. I can't use the plan which depends on the slugs not spawning until you've got 8 crystals. I can't use that anymore because they're spawning earlier, and I can't use the plan of blocking off a pathway using a unpowered building, because... Probably shouldn't have blown 2 things up at the same time. That was a rather cretinous plan. Okay, this is a problem. You're pushing him away from the base, and you're pushing him towards the base. This is less than sensible. Okay, they stop fighting once the slug decides to flee. That's good. That means they're not wasting energy fighting people that are running away. That's good. Good. At least the AI is a little more sensible than it was back in ye olden times, but then again, it couldn't have been much less sensible. Okay. I was counting on one of my old strategies working. I'm now trying to invent a new strategy. On the one hand, I can try to play this like a normal mission and just try to collect up crystals bit by bit and just try to fight off the slugs as we go. However, I fear that as we get more and more crystals, the slugs will become more and more aggressive. See, if you'd put the dynamite there, everything would be fine, but you're going to put it there and this is going to get damaged, so I'm going to be very sad about that. Oh, gosh. Just the one? Yes, just the one. Okay, the pusher beams work when they push them in the right frickin' direction, which is lovely. Oh, Jet, you little genius. I'd forgotten just how much I love you. Right, that sorted that problem out now, because there's nothing being horribly damaged. That means we can at least sort out the final bit of electric fence. We need to bring down some more troops as well, because let's be honest, this is going to need to get a little bit of military. We'll bring down, if it let me, I'll bring down 20, because gladly, it's one of the disadvantages of using the bring down a million trucks strategy was that it had a horrible tendency of crashing the game, because the game couldn't handle that much rubbish going on at the same time. Yeah, but now with this cleaner engine and more sharply defined programming, it should be a little bit more successful. I probably should have actually got those 5 folks to be equipped with guns before we carried on with this little crazy endeavour. I've also realised all these extra people I'm bringing down are not going to be upgraded, which means I'm going to need to upgrade them first, or else they're not going to be able to carry a gun and a drill and a spade. So that's going to be a pain in ye arse. Yeah, I feel like you're going to need a decent balance of... Yeah, see, look. He survived longer than he was supposed to. He survived far longer than he was supposed to. He was supposed to jump out and die the moment he got out, but that never quite happened. Okay then, let me just grab hold of everyone. Actually no, let me bring down the last 5 folks first. And then we can worry about upgrading everyone and getting everyone fully equipped. Then we can start thinking about what we want to actually do. Oh dear. Sorry. I feel like I'm doing nothing but standing here and feeling nervous, but I really, really do feel that way. Let me just send all the folks that need to be upgraded a couple of times. And get them all weapons and stuff, and just give me a moment to think, rather than blabber. Goodness, I've run out of long upgrading people tags. Right, how many slots have you got now? 3, that should be alright. I'm going to start by making sure everyone's got a spade. I should be playing around with the sonic blasters as well, shouldn't I? It's just struck me. Let's start by everyone getting a laser beam. And then we'll just have, like... No, not quite that many. An extra 4. Yeah, let's have, like, you 4 get pusher beams. And a couple of you are going to get freezer beams as well, because I want to see how the freezer beams work with the... with the everything. Right! There we go. That's better. But that's with 20 people against 1 slug, and they're all here. They're not all off doing stuff, which is a pain in the neck. Okay, right. I've upgraded people enough in order to do things. Have they mended this? No, they haven't mended this. Speaking of things that they've priorities, actually. There are murmurings, shall we say? There are murmurings of a sort of combat. See this is why I should have upgraded you again, because now. What are you doing, Spades? Oh no, it might be alright. It might be alright. Sorry, I thought they were going to drop their guns for me to get hammers instead. I want to get a drilling machine. I don't want that as a drilling machine though. I want to get that, but I also don't want to get a
Slimy Slugs is invading your base.
I don't want to have to deal with all of this. This is a problem. I've also realised now this was a really dumb idea, because I should have given at least 5 of them not having guns, so that they could continue to work while Action Stations is going on. I need like 5 of you to not have guns anymore.
Ready for takeoff.
Have like you lot. Deals no damage, stun creatures, automatically thrown at creatures, has long cooldown to offset the powerful effect. Interesting.
An energy crystal has been found.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a handful of you to get hammers,
Hi.
so that hopefully now, if you would all stand over here for a minute. I need you to drop your guns, and I don't really want you to just, don't have to like beam you up and then beam you back down because it's a pain in the neck. Oh, I've made big boo-boos because I am very dumb. Oh dear. Let's just continue. Let's just continue blasting for a bit, I suppose. Just make a little bit more progress along here. The slugs are not being as aggressive as I thought they'd be. They'd normally be all over me by this point. So maybe they've made them spawn earlier, but also made them spawn less, which would be an interesting way of balancing things. I'm going to get a truck, so that I'm going to get a truck so that at the very least people can be collecting. Someone can be collecting crystals while Action Stations is going, because that's the other way of stopping people from being aggressive when there are weapons about. So yeah, let's have 2 trucks. There we are. That at least means we can be moving some crystals around while we are doing fighting, while we are perpetrating horrifying violence. So what am I going to... I don't want to just try and do this like a normal mission, because I feel like that's boring. I feel like that isn't exciting enough. I feel like I should try and do something a little bit more interesting than that. I actually want to reinforce these 2 bits of wall, because I want the monsters that spawn out of here, because that way they'll die in the fence, which will make my life a lot easier in that regard. Yeah, I don't want to just play it like an ordinary mission because I feel like that is going to be a little dull. I mean, there's this. I'm sure you know what this is, which is always fun on a Christmas bun. The only problem is breaking through this wall and revealing the all of this tends to make everybody get a little bit cross at you, in terms of the monsters, that is, which is a little unfortunate. I've just realised I don't actually need to blast that, I can just drill it, can't I? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Yeah, the pusher beams are really effective when they work. Actually, I really need to try out the sonic blasters as well. Can you get a sonic blaster? Have you got space for a sonic blaster? You haven't, no. Can you go and upgrade them? Docks. Bandit! Docks, for goodness sake. Can you go and get a sonic blaster, please? Let me just reinforce all of this rubbish. Where are you, bandit? Right, because I know you can do this in third person. Now, how do I do this? Right-click, tools. I didn't mean that. Right-click, tools, weapon. No, not that. Actions. Maybe? Prime carried or targeted dynamite. Oh, I didn't know you could do that in this. Repair stuff. Nope, that doesn't work. I don't know where you get the, I don't know where you get the sonic blaster. I seem to remember seeing a clip of someone doing it in third person, throwing a sonic blaster. But maybe I was mistaken. Maybe I'm imagining things that are not really there. It seems entirely plausible. I am totally stupid after all.
Slimy Slugs is invading your base.
Just scared, alright? I don't want to screw it up. I want to do this and I want to do it properly and I want it to all look good. Oh, there we are. Yeah, someone threw one, but we didn't really get to see what it properly looked like, which was a little bit of a shame. Where's the monster? In a really, really irritating place. Just in like the worst possible place. And they still suck. The monsters are still a little sucky in the sense of being a bit rubbish at their jobs of murdering people. I mean, if you're not familiar with what this is there is a small island here. It's surrounded by water, and there is a small island which you can access. And back in the old days, before the tunnel transport was a thing, what we would do is we would get a tunnel scout, we would fly to the island, we would drop a man off there who didn't have a gun. It's very important he doesn't have a gun. Build a little tool store, and then put all of the... Interesting. That's an interesting development. I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, the island is chock-a-block with crystals, so you put a man there, you build a tool store, and then you set action stations going, you bring everyone inside your base, and then you let them defend the base while he plummets everything into the tool store. Nowadays, you wouldn't need to do that because you could use the tunnel transport. However, that would take a lot longer because it can only move. It can move forward a time, unlike a person that can only move one at a time. But it would be slower because it would have to go a hell of a lot longer in terms of distance. So there's that plan. I certainly feel like I will show you that little island, one way or the other. But we'll get to all of that in a sweet second. The interesting development I've seen is when that monster first spawned, like, he spawned out of this wall, and the electric fence went off. Where's that one? He's over there. Yeah, these pusher beams were a lot more effective than I remember them being. What the hell? I think he just attacked the vehicle. That's fascinating. I've never seen them do that before. It's also struck me I haven't got an upgrade station, so I can't mend them if they do get damaged. Which means I have to go around beaming them up and beaming them back down again. Yes, indeed. How spooky. Yeah, the monster came out of the wall, it set off the fence, but he wasn't actually close enough to the fence to die, so when he stepped out of the wall, the fence's cooldown was still going on, which means the old tactic of letting them just spawn out of the walls and immediately dying the moment they step out is no longer going to work. Right, what am I going to do then? I am going to actually expand this fence along here. Am I? Yes, I am. And then I'm going to beam up that piece of fence. And then I'm going to build a super teleport? Yes, I'm going to build a super teleport pad. Because I feel like it would be better to be ambitious in this scenario. Because ambitious increases the chance of increases the risk of failure. This infinite little game that we always play in this game with this thing. It increases the risk of failure, but it makes for a more cinematically interesting event. So I'm rolling with what's cinematically interesting rather than what is safe, because safe isn't what you're here to see. You can do safe on your own. You come here to see me do crazy and stupid. Okay, we've got this now, which means we can I'm going to build a piece of power path there, get that cleared out as well, because that way we can continue to use dynamo, and actually we could just use a drill. I want to build an upgrade station as well. Yeah. Probably isn't the wisest idea. If you're wondering why I'm building it here, it's because I want to have it further away from Slimy Slugs. I'm glad I've got 20 people, because if I didn't have 20 people, this would be a pain in the neck. Yeah, live. Those sonic blasters really do work. I feel like that kind of makes the freezer beams a bit pointless, though. Apart from the cooldown, if you had like millions and millions of people about, I mean like loads and loads of monsters rather, I feel like probably the freezer beams would be better because they have a shorter cooldown, and since they have no cooldown, as opposed to the sonic blasters which have more of a cooldown, but are equally as effective. Not to mention the freezer beam only slow them, versus the sonic beam will actually stop them. Sonic blaster rather will actually stop them. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a few trucks. I'm going to get a granite grinder. And I'm going to hopefully turn that off for a second. Would you? No, not that. Thank you. If I get a granite grinder and a couple of trucks, then that means that we can set everybody on action stations, and they can defend the base, so they can stay in the center of the base and defend it from the monsters and the slugs, while the granite grinder knocks down the walls, and then the trucks can collect all of the crystals they find. I'll turn off the priority for collecting ore as well, so that they don't waste their time doing that and they can purely focus on the crystals. I would also like to bring down a tunnel transport so that I can reveal access to the lake and get that extra source of crystals moving, which would be lovely. Yeah, but that little plan is going to require a heck of a lot of crystals, because I am going to need 8 for the granite grinder? 8? 6, sorry, I'm thinking of the Chrome Crusher. I'm going to need 6 for the granite grinder, and then I'm going to need like 10 more for the goodness sake. See, that is why I like the trucks, because they can rush in there and they can get the crystals before they are in danger, which is lovely stuff. Yeah, I think that's probably the best plan to go for, given that the slugs, I can't delay the slugs' initial arrival. Yeah, I'm going to roll with that. I can't believe we're going half an hour already. I feel like I've made no progress at all, and I feel like I've just been sat here talking the entire time, rather than actually showing off this mission, which I apologise about. So I'm actually going to shut up for 5 minutes, and think, yeah, and sort of progress a little bit. That's not what I meant to click on. Sorry. Did I finish my thought thinking about a combat priorities? I feel like something interrupted me when I was talking about that. I've heard whispers of a sort of priorities menu for the
Action stations.
for the combat. So you could put the priorities, for example, if you have like a really strong electric fence perimeter, you could say, you know what, I'm not going to worry about the, I'm actually going to turn off clearing robber. You could say, I don't want to worry about the monsters anymore, I'm not concerned about them, I want to focus on the slugs. So you could say, don't target monsters, just target slugs, assuming that it works in the same way that these priorities do, in the sense that you can order things and also turn things on or off. So, that is all nice and good and friendly and happy. Which would be great in a scenario like this, for example, because if they were told not to fight the monsters, then they would stay in the base centre and focus on fighting the slugs, which would be lovely. I am from where? From there.
An energy crystal has been found.
Okay, I think I am about ready.
Action stations.
No, I want to get one more truck.
An energy
Yeah,
crystal has been
I'm gonna get one more truck. Turn that on. I just need this crystal for that. Which one is it? It's that one. Okay. I'm being very careful. If you're wondering why I'm skirting around this area, it's because there's more slug holes in there. And I'm hoping that the number of crystals, or rather the number of slugs, is dependent on the number of holes. So there's like, you know, X number of slugs from a given hole. So if you're only limited to say... if you're limited to, say, 2 holes, then you're limited to, say, 10 slugs, for example, if there were 5 that could spawn from each. That is the sort of the plan I am hoping that works. So I'm trying to dodge as many... could that guy just get in the truck, and then I'll set it off? Thank you very much. Yeah, I think right now this is my best bet. 3 fully upgraded trucks. Set everyone in the middle of the base.
Ready to rumble.
Would you you won't, will you? You would just stand there.
Priorities.
You will just stand there until the you won't move while action stations is on. That's immensely irritating. That's immensely irritating. Yeah, because that means monsters are going to spawn over here, they're going to run over here to shoot the monsters, and then there's going to be slugs over here that they actually need to be fighting, when really they should be completely ignoring the monsters. Which is a pain in the neck. Mind you, I could get like a large mobile laser cutter and use that to fight the monsters in order to keep the folks over here fighting the slugs. So, there's a theory and a half to be enjoyed. There is a crystal that you are going to get. I wish you wouldn't do that. I'm going to leave that on, so that they leave that be.
Slimy Slugs is invading your
See, this is what I don't want. Exactly this. This is exactly what I don't want.
Power has been drained from the building.
See, this is exactly what I don't want, the accursed monsters. Now, where is that drained crystal going to go? Because this drained crystal is going to ruin everything for me. Because it means I'm going to have to turn off...
Action stations.
turn off thing. Can I ask you to issue, like, a drained one? If we've even got a drained one, I don't remember how many we had before. I'm not keeping a good enough track of these things. I can't see one. Mainly because everyone is standing in the way. Jet, move your bottom. Thank you very much. Yes. Accursed monsters. Maybe I should... If the monsters spawn, I'll let them approach. And that means the people are going to run over here to collect the crystals, and I don't want that. I wish we could set different priorities for the trucks and the people. Damn it. Damn it, what the hell?
An energy crystal has been found.
See, if it's just one, and it's just the truck that goes for it, then that's fine. But it's when it's more than one, that's when the problem occurs. What I'd like to do is to get... I can't remember where it is. I think it's about here.
Slimy Slugs is invading your base.
There's a bunch of rocks which are full of crystals. There's like 5 in each one. It's lovely.
Power has been drained from the building.
How? There's like 20 of you. Oh, because he got past you, and then
Monster has appeared.
you idiots, you pushed him into the base, didn't you, you dingleberries? I'm going to turn that off. To keep you a little closer to base. Let the monster get a little bit closer, and then you can assault. There we go. There we go. And now you can come back. There we are. That works. That's a bit better. It just requires a bit more management on my part, which I'm not wholly enthused about. But this is a top-down strategy game, so perhaps management was in the job description. We found it. We found it. It's happened. It's happened. It has happened. It has happened. We have found the spot. Okay then, I need to mine all... No, I don't want to mine all of this out. I want to mine it out bit by bit, because I don't want to just leave a massive pile of crystals there, because otherwise a monster will appear and eat them all. And I don't want that to happen. I do not want them to eat all of my crystals. Yeah, it's going to be alright. 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 Just keep telling yourself it'll be alright, Phil. Maybe it will be. Yeah, there we are. I just collect all the crystals and then let them go. Collect all the crystals, let them go. Collect all the crystals, let them go. Yeah. Would you stop pushing him into the base, ye great gooses? Where? Nowhere near the crystals, oddly. No, 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 no!
Slimy Slugs invading your base. Action,
This is what I wanted. No! Ignore the flip-dickin' monsters! I know the buildings are in danger. I didn't give less of a rat's buttock about the buildings. Would you go and murder all of the frickin' slugs? I mean, not murder, because you can't actually kill and they just run away, which is interesting. They don't have a death animation. But, you know.
Slimy Slugs invading your base. Tool store.
The trucks recharge crystals. The trucks recharge crystals on their own. They're so sensible. Okay, that means I still have a chance of doing this then. Okay. Just don't even look at the counter. Right? Just don't. Just don't even look at that counter. Just leave the trucks to do their job. Let them sort everything else out. There we go. Let the trucks sort the crystals out, because if they can charge the crystals in their own... Yes, look, there, here. Perfect. This works perfectly. This means this is going to work, because it doesn't matter if they drain a few, because the trucks can sort out getting them recharged. Yes, excellent. Man alive, the improved utility of the vehicles has just made my day. There we are. 10 more crystals. That'll take us up to plenty. Take us up to plenty indeed. And you know, now I kind of want to get a little more ambitious with this. Now that I've seen that this kind of sort of slightly works a little bit, at least not terribly. Yeah, those ones are dead. Would you mind dealing with this one, kids? Rather than just one of you doing it. I do hate that the pusher beam doesn't work once they're sucking. It's like they sink their teeth into it. And then, would the lot of you turn around? At least half of you. Like, I get it. These ones are important, but also these ones? Also kind of slightly these ones? I'm gonna actually extend the electric fence just a little bit, because I want the fence to get sorted out. Because the monsters are just throwing stuff at this, and they're being a pain in the buttocks at the moment. Yeah, they're going slightly insane, and I don't frickin' blame them. What do I want to do? I want to get 45, which is proving difficult. Do I want to beam up the granite grinder to do this? Yes, I need to get 45. That way, we can get away as soon as we want to. We can leave when we're finished, as it were. Yes, there we are. Okay, there we are. Now we're finished, and we can finish whenever we want, which is great. So, what do I want to do? I want to turn that on, and I want to turn that off. I want to upgrade this. I want to bring down a tunnel transport. I'm then going to damn it, I'm going to have to turn off action stations in order to get someone to get into this, but the slugs aren't going to let up long enough for me to do that. I also need to get half of you like away from here, which again I'm not going to have time to do. I just want like 3 or 4 of you to go over there. To turn this off for a second. A few of you go over here. Yeah, now someone's got in there. Perfect. There we are. I just want you like evenly dispersed. There we are. That works. At least a bit. Okay. Damn. Oh no. Sorry, I was going to say we're down to 35. We're not. It's just because I brought down 10 to do this. Yeah, the tunnel transport's now sorting that out. But now I need a drilling device and I haven't got one. Now everyone is over there fighting these ones instead of any... You people need to even this out. I really don't like you. I don't like your baseball throwing arm. It's very, very irritating. I want to go to the island, but I need someone to do some drilling. I need to get like a drilling machine. I have to bring down someone extra. I've got 50 minutes. That's all the time in the world. Just need you to get into this. This should be alright, because the trucks can manage the recharging, and everything else can just wait its sweet ass turn as far as I'm concerned. Okay, right. This allows me the opportunity to show off a few more bits and bobs to you. There we are. Now where is it? It's through here. Okay, yeah, if you're wondering what the rest of this looks like, it looks like this. Soz, I can't show it to you. Oh no, I've revealed another slug that's right next to, that's oh, bollocks. Could this fence do its bloody job? No. No, it frickin' couldn't, and now we've only got 4 frickin' minutes. Oh! Gosh, and I can't build another one because it's no fucking path. Well, we're gonna see how much we can get done in 4.5 minutes. Now what's being damaged? This is being damaged. I really should have reinforced these walls. Really should have done that. But didn't. So, you know, that was sensible of me, wasn't it? Yeah, this is the island. Looks pretty, doesn't it? Gosh. This blasted fence. This blasted fence and its cooldown. If it wasn't for the fence cooldown, I really wouldn't mind this. But I do. Okay, well we're going to sort of just sit here and see what happens now. Because there's not a hell of a lot more I can do. I can beam you up. Get those 3 crystals. No, I want to beam you up. I want to beam the person up to get me like an extra 15 seconds. Yeah, great investment there, Phil. Oh gosh, is everything still working? Looks like it is. Am I perspiring? Yes. Oh gosh, the number of slugs. Yeah. There's 8. There's 8 slugs at the minute. Goodness. Yeah, it's this damn fence. It's that. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for my stupid assumption that that would still work, then this would be fine. Should have, if I just reinforced that wall, everything would have been fine, but I can't sort that now, which is such a pain. Maybe it would be wise in a situation like this to also have a few people with no weapons, but give them spanners. So, I mean, I'm the real spanner around here. But, yeah. Just clear some of the scrimmage out. Yeah, people with spanners in order to do some mending. Which would be, you know, nice. Oh, so look, we're down to 3 health. Still didn't die, though. I don't even know if they have a death animation. Should we get a good close-up on these kids? We can't really, because they're not really moving much. Oh, yeah, something else I probably should have mentioned. They're thinking of adding some other stuff into the slugs to give them a bit more functionality than they used to have. For example, they're thinking that once they've drained a crystal, they get a speed boost, so they move a bit faster, because there's that clip, one of the little cutscenes from the game. It shows the, yeah, this has happened again, and now all of the people have left the base. I think this is about the end of us. It's certainly the end of the tool stall. Because you people are too far away. What I should do... I need to get someone like you. Let's get the gun. I need to do the shooting myself. I need to... Except that doesn't work because you're not getting pushed. Because I managed to get somebody with a pusher beam instead of right. I think it is fair to say. I think it is roughly fair to say that we are about as finished as we're ever going to be. And they've got nowhere to take the crystals. You know what? Let's just get the hell out of here. Okay. That was a disaster.
You managed your base construction very well. The 45 energy crystals you collected must have been very hard to get. We're getting very close to the end now. Good work. Mission complete.
Oh gosh. I'm so sorry. That didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. I want to say a few more things, so we got time. Let me go on to here. See if I can remember how you do these. It's just like with no capitals and stuff, isn't it? Is that how it works? Yay! Because I want to see part and parcel. I want to see how this works. Oh, okay. So there's no like, because the monsters have like these things that are linked to certain walls. The slugs, interestingly, don't. Just curious. But yeah, that's the island if you wanted a better look at it. Because this is just like calm, and I can just sit and relax and talk for a minute. Okay, let me finish my thought about them adding things to the slugs before we talk about a recap of what the hell just went down. In one of the cutscenes, there is a bit where a couple of slugs find a little truck which has got some crystals in it, and then they start sucking up the crystals, and then they go really fast, like one of them keeps bouncing around and the other one's like whizzing around the little truck in a clip, which is kind of hilarious. So they're thinking of adding that once the slugs drain a crystal, they go a bit faster. So they're thinking of adding that in. These are all the other areas that I wasn't able to show you because obviously there wasn't nearly enough time. There's not as many monsters over here as I thought there'd be. Yeah. You would have to find a very careful way of balancing this. If I'd reinforced that wall, it would have been better. But never mind. What they're also thinking of doing is allowing you to pave over a slug hole, which isn't permanent. It's not a permanent stop. It's a temporary stop. Because they can, the sort of the rough ideas at least, I'm not saying that these things are definitely going to happen, but these are just like discussions that have been had about things which could be added. You could pave over it, and then either the slugs would be able to burrow out and create a new hole next to it a little bit later, or they'd eventually be able to break through it, a bit like how Power Path slows down lava erosion, but again, lava can eventually break through it. So that's sort of a discussion that has been going on about whether they might consider adding that into it. Yeah, I think those are the only things that I know of that are being considered that sort of go beyond the original capabilities of the game. So, that was more successful than I expected it to be. To be honest, I expected to play the game about 3 times, trying out different strategies and them all failing. Particularly since I didn't get to use my own strategies, I had to come up with one on the fly, which was certainly a very interesting one. What would have made it better? What would have made it better is if I'd reinforced this wall here. That would have made it much better. What I think would also be, yeah, reinforce the wall here and here so that the monsters cannot spawn around here. Keep your men here to fight off the slugs that appear from here and here. Don't break through here, because then A, you get twice as many slugs from these extra holes, and also the slugs appear here, and then the men run over here in order to fight the slugs which are over here, and then they forget about the ones over here, leaving your base vulnerable. So don't break through here, so that you're only dealing with these 2 slugs, and keep your men in the base. Break your way in here, and then in like this area here, I would say, allow these monster spawn points to occur, but build a new power station and set up a perimeter of electric fence in order to keep the monsters at bay. Then use the granite grinder and upgraded trucks method in order to come over here, and I can't quite remember where it was. I think it was about here. Yeah, I think it's about here. There's more of those rocks which are full of crystals here, I think, from best I can remember. Yeah, and then use your granite grinder and your upgraded trucks, sort of skirt along this wall here, and then break your way through here to collect all the crystals there. Yes, and I think you would have... I think that's probably the most reliable strategy. I mean, admittedly, if I hadn't been having to... If the monsters hadn't been the pain in the arse that they were, and I'd been able to prepare for the adventure on the island a little better, that would have been a bit more successful. I mean, we got a surprising number of the crystals from the island. Yeah, which worked better than expected. Yeah, that was interesting. That was an adventure and a half, and quite stressful. It really is amazing how this mission continues to be so stressful even after all these years. I mean, at least here I had the legitimate excuse that all of my strategies weren't working, so that I had to come up with new ones on the fly, as opposed to relying on strategies that I've been using for about a decade. But yes, that was back to basics. That was the slugs. I hope you enjoyed that, whatever purpose that served. That was actually quite... I was going to say it was quite fun. No, it wasn't. I mean, I'm pleased and I'm proud with what we achieved in terms of getting through it, but that was stressful as hell doing that. That was very scary indeed. But I'm glad that we did this. I'm glad that I stopped putting this off and I got around to doing it. So, what comes next, you ask? What comes next is is this.
Rocky Horror.
Quite, but not yet. I'm going to wait for the official 1.0 release to do Rocky Horror, because I feel like that is a good time to do that. I don't know if the bats are coming at any point. I presume they're coming at some point. I don't know where they are sort of in the works, whether they're something which is being planned but they haven't started working on it yet, or whether that's something that's kind of just on the back burner or something. I don't know, but I feel like it would be good to do Rocky Horror when 100% of the original game content is here, because we've got the slugs now, we've got the monsters, we've got all the weapons, we've got the sonic blasters, we've got all of the everything. Yes. So I think I'm going to wait for the 1.0 release to do Rocky Horror, because I feel like that will be a nice way to sort of mark the completion of the game, in the sense, or the completion of the original content of the game, by completing the campaign. I think that will be a nice way to do it. Man alive, what an adventure this has been. Oh dear. Yeah. I don't know when the 1.0 release is coming out. Could be months, could be minutes. I have not balled these. In the meantime, you might play some more custom levels. There are others to do. Yeah, there's plenty of other custom levels I have yet to do, and there's more being made all the time now that the monsters are here, of course. People are making levels which have got monsters in them, which is lovely, so I really want to do some custom levels with monsters in them, so that I have to think on my feet when it comes to the monsters, rather than relying on old strategies of knowing where they spawn and how often they spawn. So that's all fun. I hope you enjoyed this. It did. I'm going to go and have a really cold shower, I think, in order to relax, because that was very stressful. But I hope you enjoyed a little look at the slugs. It's great to have them here. I didn't miss them. I didn't miss them even in the slightest. But it's a nice sign of the game's progress that they are now here. So I'll stop blabbering on and let you get on with the rest of your life. So thank you very much for joining this evening, ladies and gentlemen. For Manic Miners, look after each other and